I'm Bonnie Laudenslager. I was born in September 19th, 1929, on a farm just outside of Akron, Iowa, which is near Sioux City, northwest Iowa. I was the youngest of 5 children. My father was a farmer. My education, I graduated from high school at Akron, and I came to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and went to Nettleton Business College for about nearly a year. I was then employed at a finance company, and that's where, when I was going to Nettleton, where I met my husband, Bill. And after he graduated from Nettleton, we moved to Tracy, Minnesota.
What were you both doing in Nettleton? What kind of college was that?
I went to be a stenographer, and he went. It was a business college,
Okay.
and he took accounting. And
were they only 1 year? Was it only a 1
no,
year school?
his was 2.
2?
Although it was one of those schools where you went at your own speed. So I actually did a 1-year course in about 9 months.
Oh, wow.
And so that's when I worked at the finance company when he was finishing up. And then we moved to Tracy, Minnesota. And then he soon was called into the service for the second time. About 19...
For the second time?
He was in the service before he went to Nettleton.
Oh.
And then he went under the GI Bill right to Nettleton, and then the second time he got called into Millington Air Base at Memphis, Tennessee. And
what were you doing while he was called?
I was finishing up my job in Tracy, and I went home to be with my parents on the farm to have our first child. And then I joined him in about 2 or 3 months down in Memphis, in the suburb of Memphis. He was at Millington Air Base down there, Naval Air Base. And,
did you enjoy it down there?
Yeah, all but the heat. It was the hottest place I ever. The humidity was atrocious, and there was no air conditioning, of course.
Oh.
And we lived in 2 rooms, shared the bath with the landlady. Linda was cutting teeth. So all of that didn't make for a very nice summer, but, you know.
Yeah, I was going to ask, how was life around the base, interacting with other families? Or
Fine. They were very, very compatible, and I made some good friends down there. Went to church down there and met another good friend that I used to sing with quite a bit. He was also a service man. I had a neighbor that was Native American.
Really?
And she was one of my best friends, one of my best neighbors. She was, her mother was Sioux Indian, and wrote a book, Wind Till Sundown. I remember that. I think her father was white. And she was married to a Choctaw Indian who was from Mississippi, or Alabama, one of those southern states. And very, very, very nice people.
Were you interacting with them a lot?
Yeah, as much as you could, you know. Yeah. And then we moved back to, when Bill got out of the service, we came to Canton, South Dakota, where Bill worked for Northern States Power Company. And then we lived there about 4 years, 4 or 5 years, and then we moved to Sioux Falls, where I've lived ever since. Had 3 children, daughter and 2 sons.
Cool. So one of the questions was, how has society changed since you were a child? You grew up on a farm around the Great Depression time.
I was born in the Great Depression.
So how has it changed from then to now?
Well, many things have changed in society. I also went through the rationing of World War II, where you couldn't get things on the kid stamps, sugar and gasoline and things like that. As far as family units are concerned, divorce was practically unheard of. Children were pretty much seen and not heard. They did not control the parents like you see today. Society in general was a lot more, I think, structured, you might say. A lot less government interference. You just worked hard for your money. You didn't expect anybody to give you a handout. I used to look out the window when I was in high school and watch the WPA workers, and that means they were the people that couldn't find a job, so the government hired them. They would build buildings and things, and we were building our gymnasium. I remember that. And if we'd see them leaning on the shovel, we'd always we always said WPA stood for We Poke Around. But that's really not what it stood for. I can't even remember what it stood for, but it was something very, very appropriate. Any other questions?
Yeah. Like dealing with the stamps till now, like, do you? It's changed a lot since then. Having to pay or
food stamps?
Yeah, food stamps.
There's no such thing as food stamps. Rationing had nothing to do with your income or anything. Everybody got so many stamps per person for sugar, so that you couldn't. See, that was one of the things that was in scarce supply.
Did you guys ever run out of those stamps?
Oh yeah, you would run out of sugar, so we started using white syrup a lot of times as a substitute. Gasoline, you're really cautious if you were going to take a trip anywhere, which we never did anyway, but my sister did. She was fairly older and she had her own car. But yeah, the stamps were just so that you couldn't get a lot of stuff and I couldn't get very much stuff that you get per person. And you'd save stamps. If you had something going on, like a big party or something, you'd save your sugar stamps so that you could, do a lot of basic needs stuff like that.
Yeah. You mentioned earlier that one of your best friends or neighbors was an Indian woman. But other than her, have you had any other friends that have been from a different race?
I can't say that I have. I don't even remember that there was anybody but Caucasian in Akron or Tracy. Or I think there was one black person in Canton, but he was an old man that I never met. And then in Memphis, there were many black people, but I didn't get to know them because they were not service people. They weren't around where I was. It was just this American Indian couple. So I've not had a lot of connection with that. My husband's parents were from Mississippi, and when we visited down there, there was, we would see the black women who would come and do housework and stuff like that. And other than that, but I never really had any friends that were black. But my daughter did in high school here in Sioux Falls.
Yeah. Interesting. So, knowing that there is different races here, have you gotten to know, like, through church or just friends, have you gotten to know any people in Sioux Falls from different races?
Only because of my grandson Aaron, I have met one, I think, one black boy that I know. We haven't. I have just recently met some black people that go to our church. It's very nice, and I know him. I can't say I know him that well, but it's just close to where I sit. So I see him frequently. Very cordial, good singer. It's always good singer.
Interesting. Yeah, and so my next question is, have you ever been to, in the community down in Memphis, what was your opinion on, the whole different races or, just being all together, get connecting? Did you think much about it, or
oh, yeah.
did it...
Remember, this was in 1951. Things were a lot different now. The white people lived next to the sidewalk. The black people lived behind those houses, back behind. They were very the word I want, as I would walk down the street pushing Linda, they would be sitting along the curb, a lot of them. And she was so friendly, she'd say, hi, hi, hi. And they would look at me before they would speak to her. And if I would smile, they would speak back to her. But they were very polite that way. They never tried to interfere. I never saw rowdiness going on at all. This was a small town outside of Memphis. It was, one of them was Raleigh. I lived there first, and it was Munford was the name of the town, but now it's incorporated with Memphis, so it's no longer.
Very interesting. I want to thank you for your time and just answering my questions and just telling me more about yourself. It's very, I didn't know a whole lot of that. About your life or what you had to go through.
Well, I had a pretty good life, actually, when I think back on it, but it's different than it is today. You guys would think it was horrible, but I didn't know any better, so I